Welcome to another episode of The Box Seat, previewing racing at Ascot on Wednesday the 10th of March 2021. Rail at 12 metres, track a good 4, conditions partly cloudy, 31 degrees. We go into the Heineken 3 plate, which is for the 2-year-olds, so we don't start with a maiden this Wednesday. We do have the juveniles on show here, and a very, very impressive trialer in Pat's Got Sass.
Taken the lead into the straight and drew clear. Get Your Money and Run is second, the outside. Pat's Got Sass third. Plamont continues to make ground through along the inside. Then Ferradu Cavallo. Merit Magic trying to make some ground. Strike now out wider with Prince Ragnar, Snip of Glory and Bandolier Beau. It's Pelissier in front. Pat's Got Sass the outside coming at it. Pat's Got Sass takes the lead from Pelissier, and Pat's Got Sass wins by a neck at the line.
Hopefully Pat's Got Sass can get us punters off to a flyer here, because we're going to actually mark her down as one of the better bets on the program. Absolutely love that trial, sitting outside of Pelissier, who went around as favourite on the weekend in the Supremacy Stakes. She did dwarf Pelissier there, who is a pretty small little filly, but I love the way that Pat's Got Sass goes about it. David Harrison in a real purple patch, Paul Harvey riding a lot of winners. Drawn a gate, sits up on speed. I think she might open up around $2.50, and if she does, that's a backable quote for me. Fingers crossed she can get us off to a flyer on Wednesday after what was a very thin old Sunday. But Pat's Got Sass for me in the opener. Race 1, number 9. Number 2, War Pipes, obviously comes from a brilliant form line now. The winner of that race, Pixie Chicks, ran second behind Liwa in the Supremacy. So the Quinella horses from the Supremacy were all in the same form reference as War Pipes. Number 11, She's a Classy Chicks. It's a bit of a tongue twister here from David Harrison, but I do think this filly has above average ability. And then we go to number 5, a debutante called I'm Not For Sale, a demerit 2-year-old trained by Colin Webster, who was impressive at trials, but has a really tough gate to contend with. Pat's Got Sass, the way to open up the card at Ascot on Wednesday. Race 1, numbers 9, 2, 11 and 5. Race number 2, the Amelia Park Maiden over 1,000 metres. We are in a little bit of a trial zone at the moment here on the box seat, and we're going to watch the trial victory of Famous Journey, and then the third place in the red silks of Clint Johnston Porter is the Fibonacci.
Rocking behind the leader, the Fibonacci, Aztec Gold, Benji's and Peace Inventor round up the field. In front narrowly, Famous Journey. Coming out after it under little pressure is Divine Pair. Just looking for a gap is the Fibonacci. Under pressure, Laguna Blue. And running home out wider is Benji. But in front, narrowly, Famous Journey. Still under little pressure on the outside, Divine Pair. Famous Journey just kicking in front of Divine Pair. And Famous Journey defeats Divine Pair.
Both these horses, Famous Journey and the Fibonacci, come from the same trial, but they're also double nominated, both for Wednesday at Ascot and Thursday at Bunbury. Can't wait to see which way these horses go, because if they do come to this Ascot race, they're both top 4 chances. But if they do go to Bunbury, well, we'll have to follow them because they're top 4 chances at Bunbury on Thursday. I am, however, going to go a little bit outside the box here. I went searching for a little bit of value because the Fibonacci went around as favourite twice when last in work and was moderate at both outings. Famous Journey's drawn a really awkward gate, so I just don't know where Jason Brown gets to. It's Tiffs, a likely leader here, who's drawn in gate 2, but it's the filly in gate number 1 that interests me. Her name, Puakai. On debut, she was really reluctant to go down the straight at Pinjarra pre-race. In fact, Sean O'Donnell has to dismount and they walked her around to the back of the gates riderless. Her trial victory before that was very impressive, so I'm thinking here from gate number 1 that it's leader, it's Tiffs, leader's back, Puakai, and if from there Peter Nucky can see some daylight, I think he can extend this really good run that Justine Erklands is having, and I'm expecting around $10 or $12 for this filly, so it's double figures for me in race number 2 with number 11, Puakai. Number 6, it's Tiffs, jump and run type from Tom Pike's yard. Number 3, the Fibonacci, who does look a really nice type, but maybe 1,000 metres is on the short side. And then the trial victor we watched there, Famous Journey, number 5. Do they run at Ascot? Do they wait for Bunbury? Time will tell. My numbers in race number 2, 11, 6, 3 and 5. Race number 3, the Crown Perth Handicap over 1,000 metres. Staying in the trial files, this was one that everybody was loving. It's Miss Kentucky.
And trying to pick up some ground through along the inside was Standout Rose and also Miss Kentucky. Red Hot Tip. Down the straight they run. Margin starting to be abbreviated a bit, but it's still 4 lengths here to Zeeble. Zeeble clear with 150 to go. Classic Magnus second place. Standout Rose runs on as they go down towards the line. Miss Kentucky starting to sprout wings, is absolutely flying over the top. Miss Kentucky won from nearly...
When they straightened for home and Natasha Faithful got her balance, she really was very impressive to the line, and even more so through the line here. This is a lightly raced mare of Simon Miller's. She's had 4 starts for 3 victories, the most recent of them an emphatic victory over Like a Jaguar, who's now really gone on with it, having won 3 in a row earlier this season at Ascot. Chris Parnham rides for Simon Miller. Simon's team are going gangbusters at the moment, and she's going to be short and sweet. She looks odds on in this field. It's Miss Kentucky on top for me in race number 3. Number 7, Requisition, a last start winner down the 1,000 metre straight at Pinjarra Park. Talk about stables that are in form. Brett Pope can't do a thing wrong at the moment. Number 5, Lording, who comes from 1,400 metres back to 1,000 metres. Troy Turner reunites with this horse, and he's drawn a really nice gate. Number 2, Stable Secret, a late scratching last Wednesday when bursting through the front of the stalls. I think this horse gets under the guard, this old boy, and he can run a cheeky race at 30 or 40 to 1. My numbers in race number 3, 4, 7, 5 and 2. Race number 4, Ascot Autumn Racing Carnival is coming, but probably should read Ascot Autumn Racing Carnival is here, because we do have all those feature races on the weekend for the 3-year-olds, the Natasha, the JC Roberts, and then we've got the Derby, the Oaks, the Karrakatta, Gimcrack, Perth Stakes. There's a lot of racing coming out of Ascot in the next few weeks. But the horse we're going to watch in replay here comes from one of those feature races. It's the Lex Piper Stakes and the placing effort of Castillo del Lago.
Castillo del Lago straightened up in the Piper, but the favourite let loose Western Empire and quickly shot past him. Didn't waste any time getting rid of Castillo del Lago. Western Empire bounding away with 120 left to go. It's all Western Empire. All interest is in the minor placings. The favourites coming away. Flash Ducati will grab second right on the line, but Western Empire scored in a
1600 back to 1400, listed quality back to Class 1. Chris Parnham, Michael Lane leads, and I dare say wins this event. Going to mark down Pat Scott Sass as one of the best, but alongside Castillo del Lago. Again, Pat Scott Sass earlier in the day, $2.50, 6 to 4. If we could get a similar quote for this horse, Castillo del Lago, I think we'd be pretty happy with ourselves, and looking forward to the punting on Wednesday at Ascot. I think Castillo del Lago here is the obvious on paper. He's got that beautiful class drop, he's got the beautiful draw, and a lovely race pattern for Ascot because he leads and rolls. Number 1 for me in race number 4, Castillo del Lago. Number 3, Noble Lawrence, who ran into Hot Z first up. That form looks very good now, with Hot Z recording a victory over Secret Plan and Vedette de Star at the Saturday meeting gone on Bunbury Cup Day. Number 2, Mystery Man steps up in trip. Does a little bit wrong, but he's starting to get better with racing experience. And number 5, Speedbird, finds a new home. I like the way this filly won back in winter, but I'm just wondering whether it was the soft 6 and wet track that saw her performance a little bit enhanced. My numbers in race number 4, 1, 3, 2 and 5. Race number 5 at Ascot, the Key Clean handicap over the Perth Cup trip of 2,400 metres, a rare 12 furlong staying event. We're going to watch the 3rd placing effort last start of Accelerate.
They went past the 350 Accelerate, joined Corporate Larrikin, 3 clear of Bold Success, San Crispino, Conquered Zone, now on the outside, Night Session, Overthought, cut right back towards the inside, finishing full of running, 150 to go, Accelerate, Bold Success, Overthought coming through on the inside though, Overthought driving right up against the inside, grabbed the lead from Bold Success, Overthought taking the shortest way home.
What we probably don't see in that replay is just how much work Accelerate had to do in the early and middle stages. There was a lot of speed engaged in that race. There's no speed whatsoever in this race. I'm very confident that Mitchell Pateman will take Accelerate right to the top here, and in a 2,400 metre race they might just allow him to get away with a little bit too much in those middle stages. I think if he can slow them from about the 1,800 through to the 1,000 metre marker, then this horse of Darren McAuliffe's can roll through his gears and he can have them chasing from the 800. From there, he should be very hard to run down, and he looks like he'll stay all day. For me, in the 2,400, it's number 2, Accelerate. Number 1, Queen Takes King, who will have a lot of eyes on her, this grey mare. She's always flashed staying potential. She's always looked like a Saturday horse in the making. Her last start effort, probably better than it looks on paper because she got back in a slowly run race. Number 3, Final Chill, who's coming out of a Class 1 up into a tougher race, but does get a little bit of weight relief and undoubtedly has returned in almost career best form. I then go to number 6, Regent Star. Needs things to go his way, will get back, but looks like he'll stick out the trip. My numbers in race number 5, 2, 1, 3 and 6. Race number 6, the Schweppes handicap at 1500 metres. The horses we're watching in replay, the 3rd placing effort of Fiery Bay, the 4th placed effort of Lucky Heart, and back in 7th is General Grant.
Top of the straight, Lucky Heart led by a length. JD, Lording sticking on bravely, and Callag is lifting in the middle as well. It's Lording, the widest of them, which had got its nose in front. Callag going with it. JD battling back, and now here comes Daring Soleil starting to weave its way through. Daring Soleil hit the front, dashing win. Fiery Bay came late, but Daring...
The form line I'm going to go here behind Daring Soleil. In fact, I have these 3 horses from the replay, 1, 2, 3 in my tips here. The thing I like there about Fiery Bay is when you read in the steward's report Brad Parnham's post-race assessment, the rider. He said that this horse Fiery Bay was reluctant to improve between horses and wasn't suited to an inside draw. So here, Peter Hall picks up the ride on Fiery Bay, who's been going really well this preparation for Brian Kersley. He's drawn a gate to sit midfield and then pull to the outside, and I think that can be the difference here for Fiery Bay. I've been following him for a while, and this looks like a really nice race for him. In that replay there, we would have seen Lucky Heart fading in the concluding stages. But again, this horse was 4 wide, then 3 wide, then outside the leader and then in front. So he did a stack of work last start, and if he opens up double figures, you'd want to be having something small on Lucky Heart. Number 6, General Grant, who finished off well after he didn't quite get a run to suit. It looks like he might be looking for a bit further, but this horse drawn an inside gate should be doing no work. I then go down to the filly Wins A Lot, who is Oaks nominated and is an impressive last start maiden victor. My numbers in race number 6, 5, 7, 6 and 8. Race number 7, the Tab Touch Betty Your Bet handicap. And in this race we're going to watch a graduation type of effort last start from King Cruiser.
Luck. Further back in the field, Luke's Choice War Class. Bruce Almighty, though, gave them the slip and said, ta-da! At the 200, Bruce Almighty, 2.5, King Cruiser. Now on the outside, Bombay Style is starting to lengthen stride, but Bruce Almighty hit the 100 clear. Bruce Almighty in front by a length, a half a length as Bombay Style lunges. Bruce Almighty on the inside. Bruce Almighty...
Speaking earlier on in the box seat about just how well Justine Erkland's stable is going, well, this horse, King Cruiser, really has me quite perplexed. We go back 3 starts ago, he led them up in a 4-horse race at Geraldton, and he was a beaten favourite. It was a very average effort. He then came and demolished them in a Metro Maiden only a week or so later. He then took the step from a maiden into a 58 plus, a West Speed Platinum race, where he missed the kick by a length. He pulled himself around them 3 wide, no cover. He eventually never really got in, but he still loomed at the top of the home straight there like he was going to run a race. Obviously the winner there in Bruce Almighty got away from him, but Bruce Almighty on Sunday did run 3rd behind Tin Snip and Invictus Domini. 58 plus, back into a Class 1, Sean O'Donnell riding well, Justine Erkland's training well, and all of a sudden this horse King Cruiser looks like he's almost progressive. We should be getting each way in the last here, so for me in race 7 it's number 3, King Cruiser. Number 6, Great Charade, who was scratched about a week ago to save for an assignment like this. He had a really good season for Johnny Lugg up in Kalgoorlie. I don't see why he couldn't reproduce down in the metro area for trainer Trevor Andrews. Number 5, Depara, and this is an interesting mare. She's almost 50 days between outings, which normally is a red flag. But the last time she had 7 or 8 weeks between runs, she was victorious this track and distance. Number 8, Callag, comes up in class but down in weight and is going really well for Steel Casey. My numbers in the lucky last, 3, 6, 5 and 8. Best bets at Ascot on Wednesday the 10th of March 2021, a meeting I'm actually really looking forward to. I think we can get in with a bit of confidence in this. My best bets, race 1, number 9, Pat Scott Sass. Race 4, number 1, Castillo del Lago. The Ascot Autumn Racing Carnival really heating up now. Tickets at perthracing.com.au.